StarCraft fans, I hope you're ready for some more ASL action. This time around, it's going to be action versus light, but TVC is joining me with Stan. What are your thoughts on today's matchup?
Well, today's matchup, it is gonna be an intensive mind game of these two players because we know Action is one of the players who kind of likes to play like a freestyle. Sometimes he likes to go for a Zergling rush into Mutalisk follow-up, or sometimes he even plays standard. But then the standard way he plays is way different than the other Zerg players. He goes for super fast carapace, pretending that he's playing crazy Zerg, but then he's actually getting that armor 2 upgrade really fast with the Defiler mount and the Ultralist Cavern at the same time. So so Light, I think it will be some he needs to analyze how he should be executing Action, in my opinion.
Yeah, and like you said, Action, when I watch him, it does feel like freestyle a lot of the time. However, if he does get to the Ultralist Cavern, it feels like this guy just doesn't lose. In fact, I was watching him versus Sari on stream maybe like 2 weeks ago, and he was in Sari was in an unlosable position. He forced out so many Zerglings from Action, yet Action stabilized, got into Ultras, and ended up still taking the game. As you can see, our Rain versus Sulky match has been delayed again, this time to next week, so I guess on Tuesday. So hopefully we can get that done, because I really want to see if Need Money can make an upset, or if Rain can come back to ASL and make it all the way into the round of 4 already. But this particular matchup I'm really excited for, because Action is someone I've been looking for to make a run in ASL for a couple seasons now. But at the same time, Light is like my favorite Terran, and he just always seems to disappoint online. You know, he won KSL, but he's never done really that well in ASL, so I'm hoping he goes far tonight.
Okay, we will be taking a look at this highlight video. That was an impressive play with getting the Defiler mount and Ultralist Cavern together.
Oh, you sound really impressed. I can hear it in your voice.
I woke up 30 minutes ago, so my voice is kind of locked right now.
Yeah, I also just recently got up.
Yeah, yesterday I had to go to... probably not a lot of people know, but here's the sad news from Hawkwood leaders that passed away in the morning yesterday. So everyone of Hawkwood member went to the funeral, so we're all kind of tired.
That is sad to hear that. Wishing for the best for your Hawkwood leader there.
And we're gonna be moving to the interview. ASL Season 13 Round of 8, this is Match 3. And last week we have seen Soma versus Rush. We weren't actually expecting Soma would be taking down Rush 3-0 because we know the race matchup, the favor is kind of towards the Terran. It was very impressive by Soma. But we'll be moving into the interview of these two players, Action and Light. How are you guys doing? And Action, while she was doing the group draw, your fans and your school members were watching your group draw. And what do you think about your group? And Action is saying he wanted to avoid meeting Light in this round of 8, but since this is kind of like a destiny for him, so he has to play, he has to overcome, he would like to show some great performance. So like you just said, you have to win since you are facing against the most difficult opponent in this round of 8, so you should have practiced a lot. And Action said, Light is very strong online, but whenever he plays on an offline stage, he kind of does some type of weird strategy, and he just kind of falls apart, doesn't show such a his pure strength. Though as long as he's just keeping up with his playstyle, then Action will be playing well. And Light, he's actually provoking you how you are not playing well in the last season. And also congratulations to your the wedding. And Light was kind of saying something about his revenge against Action. He doesn't remember which season it was, but Light was getting eliminated by Action by the hidden hatchery putting down the Nidus Canal and taking him down in the past, so he really wants to revenge against against Action. So Action, do you remember that game that you did the proxy hatchery into Nidus Canal Rush? So Light, as Action is saying, Light seems like he's not that confident in his interview, so he's just gonna keep hurting with different strategy and blow his mind up. And Light, he keeps thinking you're not that confident in this round of 8. And how well did you prepare for this round of 8? So Light is saying he knows Action's ZVT is kinda unique, not a standard way of playing. He does play standard, but he doesn't play that way, a complete standard playstyle, so he needs to make sure he doesn't die to some weird strategies. And Action, you have played a lot of ZVT. What do you think of Light? What do you think of Light when you are playing ZVT against other Terran player as a comparison? So Action is saying Light does play standard, but the way he plays is really aggressive in PvZ. So Action was preparing for that, and he did lose a lot in a practice game with his partners. So since he has experienced all those timing attack with the aggression during the practice game, so he's gonna be feeling great and not gonna be falling into those type of aggression in this round of 8. So how do you feel about this round of 8? And Action says first game is going to be the most important game for him. If he wins the first game, he will be leading the game all day long. But if he loses the first game, then he might gonna get shut down easily. So he thinks it's gonna be a one-sided game. And how about you, Light? Do you think it is going to be one-sided game? And Light is saying he's not sure. He's gonna be thinking positive. He's gonna have some positive mindset, and it's gonna play as the way he plays. And any last word before we go into the game? So Action, he was while he was practicing for round of 8, he was getting lots of support by people. He wants to play really well in this round of 8. And Light is saying, since he hasn't played in a round of 8 not much, he really wants to play well and make it into semi-final. And thank you for the interview. So that was the interview of these two players, Action and Light, of this round of 8 match 3. Who's gonna be the one gonna be advancing into round of 4?
Thank you for the translation scan, and this is what I was waiting to see, is what are the maps? And we see that Revolver is first, followed by Allegro, Eclipse, Metaverse, and Butter. And I think this is going to be a really close series, may even go to Game 5. Getting a look at some of the commentary on both the players here.
Yeah, we are seeing those two players have they made it into round of 8 4 times in an ASL Season 6, 8, 9, 13 for Action, 8, 9, 12, 13 for Light. And if one of them wins in this quarterfinal, it's gonna be their second time making it into the semifinal. Both of them are, and that's gonna be. It's kind of like they have almost similar career, but Light did play one more of a best of 5 series in this ASL stage, so that's 2 to 5, and Action has 1 to 5, and those are the history of this ASL best of 5 history.
Yeah, and you can see lately Action didn't do so hot in season 10, 11, and 12, but Light, on the other hand, making it into the round of 8, being eliminated there by Hero. But what I was saying about the maps is I think the maps are super important because whenever I see Action get maps like Eclipse or get maps like Revolver, which are 2 of the first 3 maps, I don't see him often lose Zerg versus Terran. So I feel like Light definitely needs to get a win on one of these if he wants to stand a chance to make it out 3-2. But maybe not. Maybe he is confident on those 3 maps in particular. I saw Butters the last map, and
yeah, Action.
A lot of times we see. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of times we see Wraith and Mech on that map. You think we might see Bio again on Butter, like Rush tried to do?
Butter, I'm quite not sure, but maybe Light might have prepared for something like a JYG playstyle of a Mech opening with the Rex expansion, and that's a very impressive win rate of Action's Zerg versus Terran matchup, 63.6%.
Yeah, a lot of times we see these profiles with the Zerg players, and we see just clear favorite in ZVP. 0 among the top tier Zerg players like Action here. He has something like an 80% win rate versus Zerg, and surprisingly, that's Action's weakest matchup. And you can see 63% win rate versus Terran. That's fantastic, and I would say that's probably coming on the back of a lot of recent Terran games because of how strong Ultra play has been in the past couple years. Now we're getting a look at Light's play, about 50% across the board, so not a bad matchup for sure versus Zerg, but clearly Action is a little bit, I would say, favored in this particular matchup.
Yeah, Light, he had an amazing TVZ record back then in Season 8 and Season 9, but the moment where he started to do weird strategy in TVZ, I think that's kind of like ruined his TVZ record, like playing Collide Valkyrie against Hero and some type of a.
Oh yeah.
I don't really remember every single detail, but he was doing something really weird.
Yeah, I don't remember the detail either, but I remember the Goliath Valkyrie. Remember, he was top middle. He had like 3 units, and he moved out to try and kill an Overlord.
Oh yeah, that was the map of the night.
Yeah, he got surrounded by Lynx and Mutas, and we were both sitting there thinking like, that's a bit greedy, don't you think? And he got instantly punished. Well, our players are ready. First map is going to be Revolver. We've seen quite a few epic games on here. Let's see what Action's got planned. Remember, one of the most recent games we saw was Soma versus Rush, and Soma went for that interesting mass sunken into mass ultra play, and I would have to say that's a quite effective build I think Action could use.
And players are ready. We're going to be moving into the first game, Action versus Light on Revolver.
리볼버 SE에서 게임을 시작합니다.
So in the top left position are purple Zerg. It is Action. And in the top right, it is Light. So we know, or at least we talked about earlier, Mini versus Light. That was a matchup I was shocked to see Mini pick because Light has a huge win rate versus Action, or versus Mini. But how does Light fare versus Action here? Does he have a good win rate?
Well, we're right now seeing the bottom right side ASL match history of the Action versus Light. Action won against Light 2-0. I don't know how long it was, but wow, that's impressive. I didn't know Action has the highest win rate of this ZVT of this top 3. 63.6% win rate, and effort and Action are at both number 1.
Yeah, that is a bit surprising to see. Queen, of course, has a huge win rate, ZVT, Soul Key too, and it's not like Action only has like 2 or 3 games played. He's played 22 games. I mean, that's a pretty convincing win rate here. Now, what do you think about Light's opener? This is an 8 racks followed up by the depot wall. Meanwhile, it's going to be running into an overpool.
Well, 8 racks is definitely great if it was a vertical matchup, but if it was like the cross spawn or horizontal matchup, the rush distance is kind of damn far, and you are not going to be able to harass or hurt Zerg as much as you think. And I actually practiced with Action about 7 games a couple days ago, and Action actually prepared for the pull first on Revolver. I didn't want it to spoil, so I just kept my mouth shut, and this is going to be working out so well for Action with the build order fight.
Yeah, I was expecting to see the pool first build because maps like Revolver and maps like Eclipse, where you can kind of rely on the early game lings to alleviate pressure, I mean, he's just so strong with that opener if he can get 3 bases, so there's no shock to me that we're seeing it. Now, of course, we're going to have to wait and see if he will go for the 3 hatch. For now, it looks like he is because there's no gas in his main just yet, and you can see Light recognizing that this is an early pool opener. He's just going to back off with his Marines.
Yeah, so Action is just going to be starting off with the 4 Ling and taking another expansion at the bottom left. And Light is just going to be pretending that he's playing standard, and he's already putting down the refinery. So that's a super fast academy. I guess Light is going to be taking a risk with going for 1 base play.
245 academy. You know, I wanted to ask, like, let's say you're playing versus somebody like Action and you have a read, like, you think that this is the build you're going to be facing, the 3 hatch early pool build. What do you think the best counter is to it?
The best counter for Terran?
Yeah.
I think this is the right choice how Light decided to go for 1 base playstyle, because all the overlay places are not gonna be on spot to see what Light exactly doing. He doesn't know whether Light has an expansion, how much of a Marine he has on the high ground, and if Light just moves out with the 2 racks academy with the super fast academy with the steam rush, Action is just gonna be completely blind what exactly he's doing. And is that a more Zergling he just made?
Yeah, I mean, he sees that the barracks is still blinking, and that puts the Marine count at around 7 or 8. So even if they don't have medics or anything, this is a fearsome amount of Marines. Action needs to be careful. Now, at the same time, I don't even think this is enough Zerglings for Action. He needs to get a sunken down ASAP, but Light's already moving across the map, and now Action sees that it is a 1 base because he has spotted the medic.
Yeah, there is a Kree colony just going up, but I'm not sure how fast the steam pack is. But there are 6 Marine with a single medic, and I think this might be enough to hold on time. Okay, still no steam pack is still not done, but Light really needs to take down the sunken colony as soon as possible. But Zerglings are gonna be surrounding, picking up those Marine 1 by 1. Nicely done.
Yep, but I see he's defended here, but if you look bottom left, no sunken. So this is a dead base. There's multiple fire bats mixed in. There's no way Lings are going to be able to hold it unless there's some mismanagement.
Oh, look at that Vespin. Guess how much of an Action just had. He cancelled his lair attack at the main base and got lots of Zergling. I'm not sure whether this is going to be a right choice for him. Going for defending his 3rd expansion. But there are 3 fire bats. 1 medic. I'm not sure how much energy is still remaining.
Well, Action, if he's going to try and save this base, he's got to go right now. And it looks like he's decided that he can't save this base. And that means that we're going to have a massive counterattack. But look at that wall. The Marines, the medics, all set up, comboed with an SCV-2. And it's Revolver where he already has the top side completely walled off. So now Action's stuck with masslings, with no 3rd base, with no gas, with no lair, And now Light's just going to go into standard play.
Yeah, that 2-Rex Academy did hurt Action so much, and we heard the first scan just went off. Their tech is not even done yet. Action has 500 Vespene gas, but cannot really do anything until that lair tech is finished. So Light is just going to be feeling very comfortable. He can skip his range upgrade, just get the +1 attack into factory as soon as possible. Range upgrade is not that necessary against this Zergling because they're all melee type, very short range.
Yeah, and it's not like Terran's going to move out. I mean, that's the only way Terran could lose is if he moves out and gets surrounded by Masslings. So Light's going to be content just sitting there, knowing he's in a ridiculously far ahead position. I'm just looking at the mini-map, trying to get a gauge on how many drones Action even has at his natural. It looks like it could be possibly like 6. I don't even know if he's mining efficiently his nat right now.
Yeah, that's an Evolution Chamber and a Spire at the same time going up. And Light was cutting off the SCV so much in the early stage, and I still do not see the factory going up. I suppose he got the range upgrade, but will he be able to break that natural sunken? Okay, those are the Zergling trying to go for the backstep, but one firebat with the 3 Marine.
Backstab, it did not work, and now we've got a huge army moving across the map. Whether or not this kills Action doesn't really matter. He's forced to build 5 Sunkens, and that's going to really cripple Action's econ when it was already crippled. We see he has spent a bunch of gas right now. It was about 400, so maybe the first couple Mutalisks are going to be coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, those 4 medics definitely have enough energy to bust, but 5 Sunkens, I don't think it's going to be a good decision for Light to bust. But we are seeing he did decide to cancel one of his barracks and putting down the factory as soon as possible before the Mutalisk. So I would say Light's the factory timing is definitely great against this type of game scenario where Action does not have any other tech besides having a couple Mutalisks out on the map, and Action really needs to buy some time and force Light to put some missile turret.
Well, we heard a scan go off. Not sure exactly where it landed, but Firebat got denied bottom left, and actually Action has taken a base there. And if he can get Sunkens up, I mean, he won't be out of it just yet. He is going into armor, and he is super deadly if he can get into Ultralisk tech. The problem is, can he get there? Because the starports are about to start any moment now. The muta count is not high. It can't one-shot SCVs.
So I like, we just saw from the observer view that Light did not have the range upgrade, so that's why Light was backing up, not even pretending to fight those Mutalisks because the Marine does not have the range upgrade. And like I said, skipping the range upgrade and getting the factory really fast when you know Zerg does not have any other tech beside Zergling in the early stage. This is definitely a great game scenario for Light. Look at that, how fast those double starport at this 9-minute mark.
Yeah, now we see a lot of players go Valkyries these days, but with the position Light's in, I think you just got to go straight into the Vessel play, ramp it up. If the game gets to late game where there are mass ultras, you'll at least have mass irradiate to deal with them. You won't be stuck with these Valkyries that don't help you at all. You can see +1 weapon has kicked in, but Action's Evolution Chamber was decently fast for how the game has flowed, so I'm sure +1 armor will be kicking in pretty soon.
Those 8 Mutalisks are trying to buy some time, but Marines are on a position, picking up 1 Mutalisk. Nicely done for Light. And Action, he still needs to buy some time to saturate this bottom left side expansion. And he's finally adding some Sunken Colony, but okay, yeah, he's trying to rush for the Ultralisk build right now with this double Evolution Chamber with the Hive Tech on the way. And Light definitely knows about this playstyle. He's trying to get those +2 as well.
Yep, Muta's doing a good job to keep the Marines back now, but look how dangerously big that red Marine Medic Bio Ball is. Bottom left only has 2 Sunkens. 5 Sunkens will hold for a long time at top left. That's fine. The problem for Action is, can he hold bottom left? He desperately needs it. Hive is not done. Ultralisk Cavern definitely nowhere near done.
Well, Action is trying to finally have the 11 Mutalisks on the position, and there's finally the Ultralisk Cavern. Is he trying to build a Defiler Mount as well? Yes, that I was expecting. This is the type of playstyle Action really loves to do it with the Ultraless Cavern and the Defiler Mount at the same time. And yeah, Light confirms there are double building going up.
Well, what's funny about this game is when I was talking about Action versus Sorry recently, this is kind of a similar scenario where Action was just absolutely brutalized in the early game. And what Sorry did was he actually went into drops, and the drops didn't get in. And all of a sudden, Action got back into the game with 3 gas. It's Revolver, so he can take a somewhat easy 4th gas. And eventually got outscaled. And I mean, you can see Action's crawling his way back in this game. The fact that the game isn't over and he has 3 bases is such a huge shock to me.
Yeah, those middles are buying some time nicely done, but if he's just overextend these mutalists, he's gonna be having some open spot for the dropship, like I said here. And yeah, he still needs to keep those mutalisks alive in order to stop those 2 double dropship. But those are the vessel trying to eradicate the mutalisks. You need to split Action.
It's a pretty darn good split. Doesn't take that much damage onto the remaining mutalisks, and he still has 9 left over because I saw 2 were up at the top side of his base. Scourger sharking around because he knows likely move here is gonna be a drop. And Light is doing exactly the same thing that Sorry did, and that was a big pitfall for him. That's a lot of drop ships though, and even though there are Scourge and there are Mutas, if a drop ship lands, you're gonna need to have some Ling support.
Yeah, those are the full loaded 4 dropship. All the visions are somehow somewhat cleared, but Scourges and Mutalisks are still staying in the main base, and we just heard lots of skin went off. And Action really needs to pay attention.
He missed it. There's no Scourge. He moved them out of position. Oh, but here come the Mutas. But
oh, that's a nice
he gets
up.
2 of them. That's amazing. And the Ultra there will soak up a lot of hits, and +3 armor just kicked in. Scan. How is Action possibly going to hold this? Did he hold it?
I think he held it. He did lose all the Mutalisks, but losing some couple of drone. But he needs to use the Darkstorm in order to save some drone. And those Marine Force are going to be forcing and targeting those drone. But now Action might gonna keep up the game, even though he's kind of lacking with the Vespene gas. But Light needs to do something about it.
Yeah, he's gonna go bottom left, but you could see that while all that was happening, Light really wasn't doing anything else on the map. Like, he's repositioning the bottom left, but he wasn't busting isolated Sunkens at bottom left. And now the Nidus is set up so the Ultras can come in and save the day, and somehow Action spots the drop, and these 3 Ultras are heavily upgraded. He's gonna try and engage here. This might be an overstep, but maybe the Marine count is just a little bit too low.
Yeah, those Ultras are gonna be getting irradiated. Nicely split and hold position. And yeah, once Action has that 4th gas available, then I wonder how Light is going to be making some comeback. I know he's taking another expansion at the bottom right side, but this is just kind of like giving 4 gas easily for Action after losing that 3rd expansion in the early stage by the first M&M, and he's just making the comeback.
I know, I'm so heartbroken here to see someone have such a huge lead and then just have it get all thrown away by these drops that did absolutely nothing other than kill maybe like 5 drones. He's gonna come in for a drop again, and he's at least expanding to bottom right, maybe going to a split net map scenario. I'm waiting to see what the transition for Light is. We know he has +2 weapon, but is he gonna go into like a delayed mech switch? I think it's too late at this point.
I'm quite not sure why Light keeps overextending with his dropship. He knows whenever you fail your first dropship, the second dropship will not ever work. And he just keeps trying it out on the bottom left side. Does not work. There's a comp station, another comp station being added. I wanted to know whether that was a nuclear silo or not, but I guess that's there's a science facility photo at the bottom left side, so that is not going to be the nuclear silo.
Yeah, one thing I'm always critical that I see consistently in Light's play is not only does he float his factory almost every game, you can also see his science facility is floated. That means there's no battle cruisers. So this is just pure bio vessel with no powerful unit behind it other than the vessels. I mean, vessels are great, but BCs and tanks, man, they are so strong these days, and I feel like kind of light is throwing it away.
Look at that building. It's the factory and the science facility actually covered the Nidus Canal because light doesn't want these. Oh my god, that one single dark swarm is just literally stopping everything, and these Mass Sunken are doing such a great job. And then one of the Ultralisk got irradiated, deleting their own drones. So gotta be careful for action. +4 armor is done. Do you have +3 attack? I guess not, but armor 2 is done, so that means +3 is gonna be done in next couple seconds. But I think this bus is not gonna be working out so well. And look at the supply, 102 for action. Action is somehow catching up the supply count. Light keeps throwing away his army.
Yeah, and I have never seen that Nidus move with the factory and science facility. That's genius. Unfortunately, a Spore is going to complete and knock down the factory, so he's going to be able to actually use that Nidus during the next fight. And Light is continuing to rally, but he just doesn't have any angle to attack, and a huge plague hits 4 out of the 6 vessels.
Yeah, action is definitely playing really well here, stalling those 4 base safely, and now he's gonna go for the counter attack with a small amount of army, just the one group of army, some Zergling, one single defiler, and then did he just use all the irradiate on a single defiler?
It looks like he may have. Those 4 vessels were clumped up. And that would be 300 energy just instantly gone. Action is now actually on Light's side of the map. It's a small army, but he's feeling confident to actually get out onto the map instead of playing completely defensive. Here comes another attack, the top left, but it's Dark Swarm comboed with Plague, and the choke to attack into is tiny.
Yeah, we are seeing the +2 is done for action. That means +5 armor should be kicking in soon for action here. And the thing about this melee upgrade for the Ultralisk is every single upgrade you just get +3 damage upgrade on the Ultralisk. So that Ultralisk does 26 damage, and Light only has +2 armor. Ultralisk can just 2-shot those Marine instantly. And now those are the Defiler coming to the bottom, about to go for the fight here.
Yeah, the vessel count is still pretty darn high. It's like 8, so irradiates do become a big deal, but you need to cast irradiate and run away and not use your plague vessels. I haven't seen any repair on these vessels, and there's a mutant there that could pick off 4 vessels if he just gets off a single shot.
Okay, using...
No!
Oh, Middles. Okay. He does have the random Middles everywhere on the map, and trying to pick up the vessel one by one. Okay, that's nicely done. And now action has 150 supply count. This is scary.
I think it's if action ever gets to this point in the game, I don't think I've ever seen him lose. So Light needs to turn it up into overdrive, and he just doesn't have the production. He doesn't have mass starports. He doesn't even have mass barracks. I think he's only on like 7 barracks right now, and action has even more hatcheries than that, and he's going into 5 bases. We've got Ultras and Defilers setting up Dark Swarm at the natural.
Whenever you see the Dark Swarm in the front line, this is gonna be a tough time for Light to clear up. And we see him, he's finally adding the physics lab on the science facility, but that is gonna be spotted, and the Defiler is once again here. Gonna be using the Defiler, Dark Swarm, and the Plague once again, consuming some Zergling, connecting, making a bridge with the Dark Swarm here, and this is not gonna be looking great for Light.
Yeah, and he has Irradiate, but a lot of the vessels don't have the energy. There's no fire bats here. There's no tanks, like I said, because he floated his facility. There's no BCs because the add-on just completed, so he can't even insta-Yamato any of these units under Darkstorm to clear them out. Supplies are almost in favor of action right now, and now he's starting to storm into the bottom right, which has even less defense for Light.
We just heard lots of scan went off. I think Light really wants to spot where the army is, and action does have a lot of drone at the bottom left side expansion. He's adding more of a macro hatches, and once those macro hatches just starts to finish, this is gonna be really scary, making lots of Zergling instantly. And okay, that's another funny trick with the engineering bay. what is it, medic on a hold position, holding that ramp at the bottom right side, so that's a good way of holding up. But these Ultralists, I'm not sure whether Action wants to just stay. Okay, I guess he wants to stay on high ground.
A really nice move from Light to kill the 5th base at top left, and he's getting a pretty darn good trade versus these Ultras and Defilers at bottom right, so that was nicely done from Light there. But at the same time, Action's taking bases at bottom left. He's just going to rebuild his 5th base there. He landed a couple of plagues too, so these Marines are probably going to be pretty low pretty soon because we don't even know about the medic energy. You can see again another Muta trying to find the weakened Mutalist. The Muta does not get focused down, and uh-oh, Light's vessels might all die.
Well, the Observer is showing all the fight of the Ultralists and the Marine, and okay, picking up one vessel, that's good to know. But we know Action has a random Defiler and then a single Ultralist at the top side, so now he's gonna be connecting another Dark Swarm bridge. Oh my god, the Defiler did not get picked off from the last hit. Okay, Defiler mount, Defiler gonna be consuming more Zergling here, connecting to Light's main base, and this is gonna be such a critical moment for Light, whether he's gonna be defending or go for the base trade.
I think it has to be base trade, but where do you attack? Each base has 7 Sunkens, and there's a Nidus. And that means Action is just going to flood into the main with Dark Swarm on top of all of his Ultras all over the place. Sure, Light's going to kill bottom left, the 5th base, but how does he save his main? He's not.
Well, there's another Defiler just came to Light's main base, and he's just going to be consuming the Zergling over and over, connecting these Dark Swarm. Maybe he's going to be using the Plague in the between of these barracks. Okay, never mind. He's going to be throwing another Dark Swarm here. More Ultralists, more Zerglings are coming in, but he's just going to be focused targeting on those barracks, and barracks is just going to be start falling down one by one. But BCs are not going to be that effective to hold off this.
Yeah, BCs can be great versus Defilers, but they have to have Yamato. If he had Yamato there, he could have instantly one-shotted that Defiler, and then these non-stop Dark Swarms would have never happened. But now Action, he's flooding in, he's breached the main. It's over. He's going to take game 1 here for a brutal opener. It seemed almost impossible to win, yet somehow he's going to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, Light wasn't in such a great position in the early stage, but the late game potential, we can see Action is really crazy. How he just made a comeback with, okay, that's a irradiated battlecruiser, that's a funny one, but I mean, these infrastructures are going to be started to fall apart, and now the macro expansion will be taken down one by one, but Action already has 5 gas already.
Yeah, and this is why I said I thought the maps were super important. Seeing Revolver and Eclipse in the first 3, where he can play this style that we just saw, the early pool into 3 hatch, he took game-ending damage almost, and he still stabilized and still won. Or I guess he hasn't won just yet, but he's playing out of his mind right now. Yeah, oh, actually, Light saved his main. You see that?
Well, yeah, Light does save the expansion. Light does save his main base, and there are a bunch of barracks at the bottom right side, but he can't really do anything against these Dark Swarm. And
well, wait a minute. This Bio Ball has not been dwindled down, and there's actually BCs now.
Okay, the Defiler is a little bit of an out of position. Getting targeted by the Battlecruiser, you want to make sure you don't get targeted. Okay, Dark Swarm, more consuming the Zergling. Maybe he's going to be throwing down one of the Plague. Even a CB comes to repair.
Oh no, Spore is going to take down both of these BCs. Or at least one of... Oh no, he retargeted!
Oh,
okay, there we go.
Okay, he microed that Spore, so that was a funny one.
Well, the Bio Ball is still out on the map, still racking up kills. The vessel count is still really high at like 10. Action is now flooding again into top right, and this time around there's absolutely no defense because all of it's bottom right. You can see Light, I think, actually ended up transitioning into factories, maybe? I saw at least one factory build down there.
Well, what is that one factory gonna do? Make tank,
yeah,
but has only a 0-0 upgrade. And Zerg Action already has 3-3 upgrade. He's just completely done with his upgrade. He's making more Zergling Flood. I mean, those macro hatcheries at the bottom left side just making lots of Zergling Flood. He's consuming more Zergling over and over, and single defiler will stop everything. But the vessel count is really high. That's gonna be a big homework for Action to keep. Somehow he needs to take down those vessels.
Yeah, if Light had some way to reinforce this bio ball, I mean, maybe he could stage a comeback, but you don't see any movement from the bio at bottom right, simply because it's just non-existent, and he needs something there to defend. Now the vessels are kind of AFK. He lost a couple of them there, down to 5 from 9.
Yeah, the supply count is just insane for Action here. He never has gone down under 130-ish. He just kept having that 150-ish supply to 130-ish, the lowest minimum supply count he kept having. And Light just losing all of his building at the main base, and now he knows he lost this game, but I guess he kind of wants to do some warm-up, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so, but you can see he had a reaction just a moment ago. And so the GG is going to be coming out pretty soon. It's 6 base Zerg, Mass Ultraman, Massling with 3-3 upgrades versus a Terran. Sure, he's got 3-3 and he's got vessels, but just doesn't have the eco for it anymore. 2 tanks now, and like you said, there's no upgrades on them, so they can't be used in any attack. They can only be used defensively. And it is just a matter of time now before we see the Dark Swarm come down and breach this net.
I want to see some the manor hatchery in the front of Light's vision, because I mean, Light he knows he lost the game, but he's just dragging the game longer and longer. Maybe he wants to do some warm up, like I said in there earlier. But we know in this kind of game scenario where Zerg has multiple bases, he's taking another expansion at the 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. That should be another drone at the bottom right side there at the third expansion. So yeah, Action is just taking all the expansion.
Yeah, P's all over the place. Was that the GG scan? Doesn't seem like it. Light's still trying to defend. Well, we know the game's going to be ending pretty soon. Where do you think the error was for Light? Was it simply the dropships? It couldn't be just the dropships that cost him this game.
I think the dropship plus, the number one I can think of would be not using the siege tank. He had such a huge lead with the super fast factory, super fast starport, and he didn't go for siege tank at all. He went for double starport, making the vessel, but those vessels, yeah, you may have one more irradiate because you have 2 vessels at a time. So I mean, one more irradiate, not gonna be that super effective against these mass sunken defense line. So why not just make one or 2 tanks, or maybe 3 tanks maximum, and slowly peel off those sunken line and maintain of your, or keeping up your 2-1 upgrade playstyle.
Yeah, I mean, as I stated earlier, there was no tanks, there's no BCs. Vessels are great, but they're just so hard to use, especially if somebody can stabilize 3 bases or 4 bases in this scenario. And Revolver is like the hardest map to play this style. So I agree there. He got punished really hard by not building any tanks at all. And you can see the result now, sub 100 supply for Light. He somehow has gotten a 3rd base, which is unreal to me at bottom right. But now he's going to lose his main at bottom right.
Yeah, fans are not gonna be happy. Those Terran fans are not gonna be that happy when Light is losing the game like this. And here's the GG, finally taps out. And that was an amazing comeback by Action after losing the 3rd expansion by the first M&M pressure.
Yeah, Action, he's, like I said, you cannot let this guy get to ultras. If he does, it doesn't matter the deficit. You see it right here. Once it kicks in, you're in trouble, which is why I really liked the Marine or the 2 racks on one base. It's like, okay, Light, you're just gonna go kill this guy before he can get into the best part of the game or for action. But unfortunately, it just doesn't matter. And unfortunately for Light, third map's Eclipse, where he can do the same thing almost. And it's looking like this may be already a very, very uphill battle for Light.
Yeah, Light probably has to take a look at his own game number 1 game. I mean, those 4 dropships were full loaded, and they are the 4 Scourges connected on time. That was an amazing one.
Yeah, and what was critical here was that Ultra actually just moments before the drop hit, +3 armor kicked in. So the Marines don't even deal almost any damage. A single Ultra soaked up so many shots. Look, it still has over 200 health. That was critical. But you can see Light during all this. He's doing nothing with his bio ball right now. Like, I'm not necessarily saying he could bust the Nat or bust the Nat at bottom left, but there wasn't any pressure anywhere else on the map.
Yeah, after watching that game, this just kind of makes me to think, like, I guess I have to use C-Sync to bust the sunken line.
Yeah, it looks extremely hard to play versus Zerg when they play that style on that map in particular. But we're going to be going into a commercial break, and then we'll be back with Game 2. It's going to be Allegro. We are back, guys, and we'll be getting into Game 2 momentarily, but I'm sure we got to talk about that humidifier, right, Scan?
Yeah, the ASL humidifier, but the what?
Well, maybe not.
Maybe we might gonna have to talk about the ASL jacket as well, since they are now on sale, I suppose, on an Africa TV shop. And I like that color, the teal and the white color, two-tone color.
Yeah, teal is like my favorite color, and then also I just really do like white and teal white combo, especially with the gold text. Looks great. Looks like we're not going to go into the humidifier / jacket advertisement, but definitely it is available. I don't know how much quantity they have, so definitely check out ASL. Maybe you can get your own. But players are ready. Let's get into Game 2. Right now, Action's got to be feeling great. He's not only up 1-0, but he came back from a huge deficit. So going into Game 2, he's going to have a lot of momentum in Light. He needs a win here.
And players are ready. Action versus Light on Allegro.
알레그로에서 게임을 시작합니다.
Okay, in the top left are Blue Zerg. It is Action. And in the top right, down 0-1, it is Light. Now, I always like to make predictions for build orders, and I think that I don't think I've seen a 5-pull, 4-pull actually.
4-pull.
Well, I can tell you I was not predicting that. I was going to say I don't think we're going to see the same opener from Action here, and I don't think we're going to see an 8 racks from Light because he's not someone, in my opinion, like Rush, who will 8 racks every game. I think this is just going to be standard opener, or could be 14cc, but probably unlikely.
No wonder why Action didn't play Allegro with me on the practice game. So I guess that's all the plan he wanted to do in Allegro.
Oh my gosh.
All the maps that I played was only the 4. Oh my god,
He's dead.
Well, I'm not sure. I might still have to say there's a little bit of a hope because you have that barracks finish on time, and if you have that single marine production out on the map plus the bunker finish at the main base on time, that 4-pull might be stopped.
Yeah, that is true. The fact that you... I didn't consider that. It's not like... the barracks is not in the center of the map, right? So it's actually... first off, he needs to scout and see this coming. But he could get it into his main. Actually, there was a game I saw between Foreigners, Proxy versus Terror, where Proxy also 4-pulled, and Terror was able to get a bunker up in his main. And, 4-pull has no econ behind this. This is not 5-pull. This is not 7-pull where you can transition out of this. If the bunker gets up, that's pretty much it for Action. So, yeah, I actually think I agree with you here. Light's going to save this because he's going to be able to get a bunker up, and he gets lucky scouting first.
And now there's an SCV finally turns back home. Okay, he decided to cancel the supply depot, putting down the bunker immediately, and that single bunker. Remember, the bunker, the build time is 19 seconds, and Light needs to defend. Okay, Light is trying to surround and buy some time with the SCV here, and one single marine will be getting inside of the bunker. And
wow,
I think it's not gonna be looking good for Action here.
Yeah, and now Light is just gonna float this Rax into position, try and create a wall. Now, what do you think about this bunker position? Because I always put it above my command center near the gas, because first off, it seems safer there, and also I can eventually get my gas. This feels like this bunker is very far forward.
Well, that depot placement should have been a bunker, and that would have been much easier for Light to defend the mineral line and every single worker. But I guess these one single marine inside of the bunker, a lot of SCB will be falling down.
Yeah, when there's only one marine actually dealing damage, you're not too scared of a bunker. And we see Light. Well, of course, he's in the lead right now. He's got 8 workers, but Action has rebuilt up to 7 workers. I mean, he can at least play it out. It's so rare I actually see a 4-pool actually start transitioning, but let's see what Action comes up with.
Yeah, that drone is moving out, pretending that he's expanding. But he's not gonna be expanding. We see Extractor has gone up at Action's main base. So this might gonna be... Oh my god, he needs to cast that SCV immediately in order to not show that Extractor.
Yep, nice move there. Oh, and I love how he puts it on top of the Nat like he's going to build it. And then he just backed off. So, what do you think this is? Is this Speedling?
I think this is gonna be the Speedling by Action, I would say. But Light is definitely not gonna be let his guard down. Not gonna be assuming this is going to be a 2-hatch opening by Action. But Action is getting more Zergling out on the map. So I'm not sure whether this is going to be the 1-hatch lair tech or... No, maybe it might be a 1-hatch lair tech like how Soma did it against Rush in the previous season.
Well, it is critical that this SCV gets in and figures out what's going on. The Marines are far across the map. They're not close at all to support this SCV. So SCV Lone Wolf here, he is eventually going to get taken down, I think, because Action has done such a good job to stall the SCV from getting in.
Yeah, this is gonna be feeling very awkward for Light. I mean, you have only a single hatchery and you are making that many Zerglings once again and not letting me do... Oh my god. Light is gonna be moving out. He's gonna be assuming this is the hatchery opening and going for the cheese rush, but the Metabolic Boost is gonna be done in the next couple seconds, about maybe 30 seconds or so. And Action sees it, he's just gonna be pretending, oh no, I have to defend this cheese, but these Zerglings are gonna go for backstab, I would say.
I think he's just flanking this because he knows the SCVs are in the front. And what's great for Action is he hasn't had to show speed yet. So for now, Light thinks that this is just a Nat. And he comes in here and sees there's no Nat. And now he's probably thinking, oh, what's this? I'm actually surprised that Action is counterattacking, but that's what he's going to do. And that's a rallied Marine. We don't even know if there's anything in the bunker right now. And there isn't.
Oh,
and
no.
Light, he's overstepping. He's got to cancel his racks. He's going to lose his SCVs in his main. And there's 2 sunken setup. He's lifted.
I think Light is just going to be deciding to move his command center to Action's natural? Or what is he going to be doing? I don't know what exactly he's going to be doing, but I guess he'll be landing once again. But those Speedlings are going to be buying some time. Bunkers already have 50% HP remaining. And yeah, the bunker will go down immediately. Not going to be letting Light to have that expansion running. And those SCV retreating back home. Marines are retreating back home. Well, Light still has some hope because he has 700 mineral fields. It's not 700 mineral fields. 700. Oh my god, that's a borrow upgrade.
It is Burrow. What's funny is Light doesn't know it's Burrow, so he's probably wondering where the heck are these lings? Oh, hello, they're right here.
Oh, okay. Wait, if he
lifts, he can't land.
Oh. Remember, Light had that command center floated. What if?
Yeah.
Action actually borrowed under the command center. That would have been such a great, funny moment we can ever get to see in this whole year of this what is it, like 20 year of this game. Yeah. But I guess that's not gonna be the case.
I don't even know what's going on anymore because it looks like Light kind of stabilized, sort of. He's now mining. Action has like 6 drones total, and Light's going to start mining his gas now. He started to build the academy. What's funny is Light smiled, and I thought, okay, well that's going to trigger the GG because that's generally what happens. Yet if we look at the state of the game, he's not even in a bad position right now, I don't think. I mean, Spire's not started yet. Academy's coming. It's halfway done.
Yeah, this is really a weird game I've ever got to see. I like... Oh, Action.
What?
I guess Action is just gonna be tapping out. He's not gonna be trying hard.
Okay, well that was the last thing I was expecting. With the burrow play, I thought, okay, well if he burrows the ling there at top middle, bottom right, and the main, well he can't land. Oh man, it feels like Action really let it slip there, but I gotta give credit to Light there not giving up because it looked like it was unwinnable after he lost his bunker and with everything out of position. No, he wasn't even mining at all.
I'm wondering what Action wanted to do in that game. I mean, if he just take down those 3 depot, Light just gets completely supply blocked the whole time. And that could have been one way of winning the game easily, but leaving that single Zergling at the Light's main base and why? For what reason?
Yeah.
I mean, those 3 depot could have been taken down by those 9 Zergling total. There's 1 Zergling at the main, 8 Zergling borrowed. He could have just killed it.
Well, you can see he obviously thought he could catch the Marines and SCVs, but not the case. SCVs were in a fantastic position. I don't know if Light suspected it was Burrow or what, but he was definitely on the ball here, making sure that the Marines were basically never isolated from the SCVs. And he survives the 4-pull, then he survives the counterattack. He's not mining, and he gets away with a Game 2 victory, and he desperately needed that because our next map is going to be Eclipse, and Action is exceptionally deadly here.
Yeah, I think we might gonna go into commercial break, but if the camera shows those Hot 6 banner, or let's take a look. There's a Hot 6.
There it is.
Are we gonna...
Hot 6.
Yeah, Hot 6, of course. Oh, of course, I guess Hot 6, the drink is now gone. Now they have some type of like a sports drink, I suppose. I still haven't tried it out yet.
Yeah, it looks like Powerade in the U.S., but well, it's not. I'm pretty sure Hot 6 isn't available in the U.S., but if it is, we do have some Korean supermarkets, so maybe I'll look for it there. As soon as that game ended, I instantly went online to see some of the responses, and people are saying what a wild game. This game's insane. I wonder what the Koreans are saying about that game.
I mean, the borrowed Zergling was misplaced. He should have borrowed his Zergling at the ramp, like when Marines are retreating back home and climbing up from low ground to high ground. He should have just borrowed from those placement.
Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, that's obviously a better move. We're killing the depots, like you said, but I didn't even really mind the burrow at the natural because a lot of players don't keep their Marines and SCVs together like that. They just right-click the SCVs to go back. They think that they're safe or the Marine count is safe, and ends up not being the case, obviously. But let's talk about Game 3. It's going to be Revolver. We're at least going to get to Game 4, which is Metaverse. What do you think about either player's chances on Eclipse and Metaverse?
Metaverse, I played a lot of games with Action. So 4 games out of 7 games on Metaverse, and Action just wanted to play really standard, but I wonder if he's just going to be sticking with his game plan or maybe decided to do something other strategy. The way he feels comfortable with, like super fast evolution chamber or whatnot. But most likely I'm gonna be expecting to see some 2-hatch the regular 2-hatch mutalist playstyle by Action from Metaverse, because I heard the Metaverse is a map that has really far rush distance. Well, not that far, but it's kind of far if the matchup is horizontal matchup or crossbow matchup.
Yeah, I'm looking to see what Light in particular pulls out on Metaverse, because I don't get to see a lot of TVZs on that map. It's a weird map. Initially, when I saw it, I thought, okay, this looks like Outsider, but with the middle bases blocked by the power generators, Zergs can't get an instant third base. I wonder if Light will pull out something like 2-port Wraith, maybe? Haven't seen that in a long time. But I am curious to see what Action pulls out there, since he is so strong with Ultra Play.
Yeah, even those power generators at 3 and 9 o'clock expansion. I guess once those worker done mining the mineral fields and let those Zergling gets inside of that 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock base and taken down easily. That expansion also gonna be an easy or free expansion for Action, I would say, but I wonder what Action has prepared on Metaverse.
Yep, it looks like Caster might be giving the signal that we're going into a break, so let's get into that. We'll be back with Game 3. Welcome back, guys. We've got a tied series 1-1. One of the of course I get debated.
Yeah, we are still watching on this ASL Season 13 Round of 8, and this is match 3, Action versus Light. One of first game on a revolver. Action wasn't on such a bad spot in the early stage of the game by the M&M pressure, but it was insane how well Action made the comeback with those middleless ball micro and buying some time and adding lots of sunken following. And we also have to be taking a look at this ASL Season 13 event. People who are making the ASL highlight video on a user clip tab, and people who are getting selected, they will get the ASL card wallet. And the winner's prediction as well, you will also get the ASL event as well. And since they haven't made it into round of 4 for a long time, we're interested to see who's going to be making it into round of 4.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is this is one of the most wild series I've ever seen. You really have no idea, even into the last moment, who's going to win the game. One of the most bizarre games I've ever seen on Allegro. But we're going to be getting into Eclipse, a comfortable map for both players. Light has kind of thrown me for a loop here, the fact that he's gone for 8 racks 2 games in a row. I wonder if he's going to go for it a third time.
Yeah, since the map is chosen by Action, the map is Eclipse, maybe Light might gonna do 8 racks 1-1-1. But we're still not sure. Maybe he might just gonna be playing standard. But it is actually the map was chosen by Action. Normally Terran player choose the map Eclipse, but Action actually chose the map. So maybe he has something that he has prepared against Light.
Yeah, well, we'll see if he does have something prepared. Let's get into game 3. It's Action versus Light on Eclipse.
이클립스에서 게임을 시작합니다.
So, in the top right, our green Zerg player, it is Action. And then in the bottom left, our red Terran player, it is Light. So, you're stating that Terran players often pick this map. Why do you think Terran players like Eclipse, especially versus Zerg?
Well, because you can easily take your natural expansion with the big wall with the 2 depot and a single barracks, and it's also easy to, well, not easy, but you're in a kind of like a comfortable zone to delay Zerg's 4th gas as much as possible, unlikely the other map or like a 4-player map where Zerg just takes to another spawning location and just making lots of lurker, defiler, and defending the 4th gas. But this time I guess Light is not prepared for 8 racks.
Yep, we've got the depot wall, so this is going to be the semi-wall at bottom left. And we will just have to wait and see what the transition is going to be. Remember, Action did go for Overpool on the first map, and he is, I guess he has potential to go for it here, but not going to be the case. He's already surpassed the 200 minerals, so it is just going to be a normal 12 hatch opener from him. And that's a fast barracks. You only see this if you think that, I guess, an early pool could be coming and want to get out Marines ASAP.
Yeah, that 10 racks. I actually have seen that 10 racks by who was it? Royal in the past, because he lost the one game against some type of like a pool opening first. I think that was Shine, like he has gone for 5-4 or something, and Royal died to 5-4 on Eclipse. And he decided to start doing some 10 racks build sometimes, and we are seeing action. Is playing 12 battery into 11 pool, 10 gas, so everything so far standard.
Yep, super fast gas, a 201 gas, so going to be ramping into that lair ASAP. Meanwhile, I guess we could have seen like some type of tech play with the 10 racks opener, but not the case. Light skipped the gas, and he is just going to go into a normal command center. Of course, drone going to be pulled off and try and deal as much damage as possible to that SCV.
I think the meta so much shifted that Terran players kind of stopped doing the 15 command center, even though they know it's a 12 hatchery. And now with this early marine production with the 10 racks, the Overlord it might gonna get picked up, I'm not sure yet, but those are the 2 marine. Light is just queuing up more of a worker. 20 supply and still no command center. Okay.
Well, this is an interesting command center timing. The Overlord is going to get away, barely. I was surprised that it's actually that low, so that's something to keep in mind, you Terran players out there, if you want to snipe an Overlord without having to necessarily 8 racks. This 10 racks could be for you. And 3 Marines, I think, are moving across the map already. So far, I see no Lings. Okay, the first 2 Lings can come out.
First 2 Lings are out, as you mentioned, and I'm also seeing the 3rd depot going up at Light's main base, so Light is not going to go for Fast Academy. He's just going to be queuing up a lot of marine production, gasless, and finally there's a refinery with the single barracks, and there are now 4 marine on the way. Okay,
Action 4 marine.
Does not have anything. He just has 2 Zerging maximum.
Yeah, in fact, he's going to have to evacuate his drone line, and he snipes a drone. Nicely done from Light there. And there's still no more Lings. Actually, Action pulls more drones to try and save this base. The Lings do... Oh, really good control there. Snipes down 3 of the Lings before they deal any damage, really. And now, Light might be able to take down multiple drones. He's already taken down 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this over?
Well, I just heard something being cancelled. He cancelled his hatchery to make some more unit. There's a Spartak on the way.
Oh my god. What if he builds a bunker at the bottom right corner?
Well, the bunker actually does fit, but I don't think it's in range of hitting the. It's not in the range of hitting the hatchery, I would say. But Action.
Oh my gosh.
I think this is just way too greedy by Action. I mean, just made too many drone in early stage.
Well, based on the Revolver game, of course, this is not over just yet, but Action, again, in a really dire situation in the early stages. Luckily for him, I would say, is his Spire is extremely fast relative to Academy timing here from Light, but he has very low econ. I don't even know how many Mutalis he's going to be able to build once that Spire completes. Maybe like 4, and that's it.
Well, we are right now already seeing +1 is already on the way. More barracks being added. There's decent amount of marine count at the natural. Once Light figures out this is an all-in, I think he will just be putting down the bunker at the natural, building lots of missile turret, and just turtling up with his 2-base playstyle. Did he just add another barracks at the main base? So that must be the 4th barracks.
Yeah, 4 barracks and pretty darn fast +1 for Light after this opener. So he's going to have +1 maybe like a minute after mutas get out. He's going to have range very, very late, but it doesn't matter because Action's econ is so low and the muta count is going to be so low that I think Light will be just fine. There's the first few mutas, and you can see Action isn't even mining gas at his nat, so he is really in trouble.
Oh my god, that Overlord gets sniped by the missile turret. A lot of Mutalis. That's a lot of Mutalis being made, but not enough to take down those Marine Medic force that are hugging the defense tower, the missile turret.
Well, here come the mutas. There's not that much Ling support to be oh, actually, there is a lot of Ling support, and there's not that many Marines, and the medics are off in no man's land, and Action just pounces on his one opportunity.
Oh my god.
Well, there's only 4 mutas. That's the thing. If there's like 7 mutas, this is a different story. But the fact there's only 4, SCVs can deal a lot of damage to Lings, and Marines popping out, even if it is just one at a time, eventually should be able to take down the Mutalist.
How is this even possible? Like, that one dove in by Action is just hurting Light so much. He's trying to add a bunker right next to his console station, but Light is just going to be out of his resource. He has about same supply count as Action as well. Okay, there's a single fire, but what's that single fire gonna be doing? Using the second steam pack once again. The middle are attacking. Oh my god, is Action gonna be winning this game? We're hearing lots of guns go off.
Yeah, it looks like, well, he's gonna at least force a liftoff. I don't think Light's gonna leave the game because he's been a trooper in game 1 and game 2, fighting for his life even in the most dire of situations. But again, Light is okay, the eBay gets lifted. I think +1's already done. Yeah, okay, it is done. But this was a really nice recovery from Action. He needed to get damage done, and he has. And behind this, he's going to take a 3rd base.
Yeah, this is what I really wanted to say. I mean, you know, as Terran, Zerg is doing all in. Why are you not building a bunker instead of... why are you not putting down the bunker instead of putting down the missile turret? I mean, those missile turret cost 75 mineral, bunker is 100 mineral, so that's about 25 mineral differences, but the bunker is more efficient in order to stop this 5 muta and Zergling bust in the early stage. But now those mutalists are going to be surrounding, but those +1 attack is definitely going to be paying him off.
Yeah, damn, that +1. I thought, wow, the full surround with the Lings and Mutas. Action might have done it, might have just wiped out the entire Marine Ball. But you can see the power of +1 kicking in right there. All of the Lings instantly die. And Light is going to stabilize, retake his natural. But this, I mean, oh, actually, Action did not take top middle. I guess he's decided he doesn't have enough stability to do that. But he at least does have his 2nd gas up and running now.
And now the natural expansion is now slowly being saturated for Light, so Light is somehow making some comeback here. But Action does have 6 meta, but 3 middles are on a dangerously low HP, so he cannot be fighting against those +1 Marine.
That is a colony coming down for Action, so he's going to try and stave off the attack with minimal defense. Multiple Sunkens coming down, and he's just going to backstab with these mutas, so we may be in a base trade scenario, 4 Sunkens being morphed.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he keeps attacking the natural expansion. I mean, if he's just gonna go for the base trade, why not just kill the barracks line? Okay, that's a lot of overload will get picked off.
Yeah, that is a ton. There's at least 3. I think even more. Like, every single dot you see in the center of the map is slow. That's like 4 overlords that he could get. He's going to stem for it. That's 4 Sunkens, though. But he does have +1, and he knows there's no supporting cast because the mutas are across the map. However, action is coming back, and the muta count is sizable. It's at like 9 right now.
Those mutalisks are going to be having, or picking up those Marine Medic Force. Really nicely done. Same supply count action. Thought was gonna be expanding towards the top middle, but never mind. Light does not have any factory tech, but he's just gonna be keeping up, pumping lots of marine production. Not sure whether he has the +1 armor kicked in, but that's another SCV going to the top left.
I think action has stabilized this game, and the reason I say that is you already pointed out there's no factory, and Light has obviously just lost his army, but he's built so many turrets. He has built like 20 turrets this game, and he's not going into his tech. Meanwhile, Mutaman can just continue to ramp up higher and higher.
This is the one of the classic, or not a classic, but the old style of do you remember that game, like in during the back then Neo Silpha, where a lot of Zerg players were doing like 2-based Lurker Defiler all in? This is what Action is actually aiming for. He does have the +1 muta, 11 mutas, 1 group of mutas is still ready. That's why he's adding all those Hydroden and the Quinzans at the main base. So this is gonna be an all-in play, and Light does not have the factory. Is there a factory at the main? Quite not sure.
I think it has to have started by now. I mean, we're approaching 12-minute mark. I think you have to have started at least by now, the factory. When I saw that Hydrogen and Queen's Nest, I instantly thought that this might be Guardian Hydra, but it seems like you're thinking it's going to be Lurker Defiler. We'll see what Light thinks this is going to be. Meanwhile, the mutas are still alive, so they've done a great job to keep Light back.
Yeah, that Hive Tech is relatively fast compared to the starport timing. So once those Hydralisks are popping, okay, Light gets to see the Hydralisks are coming out, and he keeps confirming the expansion at the top side and also at the bottom side, but not seeing there's any third gas expansion. Okay, that's a +1 Marine. Or I should say 1/1 upgrade.
10 or so mutas trying to fend off this 1.5 groups of bio. For now, the bio's not moving, but you can see those medics maybe almost out of energy. Yeah, they are out of energy, and one bad engagement from the Marines, this bio ball might get wiped out.
And the Hype Tech is gonna be done. There should be the Defiler Mount, should be thrown up, but the Mutalisk! They got sniped.
He's stemming for it. He knows that the Lurkers are not complete yet. He knows that there's not mass Sunkens, but remember, these medics have no energy at all. Somehow, Lurkers have snuck behind the army, and Light has no idea.
I'm also curious whether he knows about his second gas. I mean, that second gas has been mining with the 2 drone the whole time, and Action hasn't seen it. And that one missing drone in the extractor does cost him whenever he's doing this 2 gas all in, and those Marine Medic Force!
Oh, he tried to bait him with the lings and he caught him! Oh my god! Oh, that was not the greatest shot right there. I would say Light got very lucky to not lose his entire army, but regardless, Action racks up a few Marine kills for free. Nicely done there. But look at supply, it's 72 to 45 right now.
And I think that's another building at the natural for Light. That must be the factory being landed, realizing this is an all-in, and he's making lots of Marine Medic Force and making, yeah, he should be making a Siege Tank as well, because this is gonna be the Lurker Defiler all-in, and he really needs to get the Siege Tank out to snipe the Defiler whenever he can. And those M4s are just gonna be standing in the middle of the map and gonna be buying some time. 1/1 upgrade, definitely great.
Yeah, he has to buy as much time as possible, because with his science facility being so slow in comparison to the Defiler, he's only going to have like 2 irradiates when this Defiler gets across the map. If the Defiler can land even one Dark Swarm at the natural, it could be a devastating blow to Light, take him so long to recover, and the Defiler has snuck across the bottom side of the map, but you can see Light has a Marine in position, spotting for it.
Yeah, those single vessel gonna be moving forward, but do you have the custom upgrade? Yes, you do have the custom upgrade. You want to use the Darkstorm. Okay, that's a really weird Darkstorm placement, I would say, but that second gas is gonna be hurting him a lot. I mean, he's missing that one drone from the extractor, and there's a dropship.
Yeah, I like the drops this time. He knows that Action is pretty committed to this Defiler Lurker attack. Not really thinking about Scourge right now, at least not versus a drop. And you can see he's not thinking about it at all because his main is completely wide open on the top side of the map. No Defiler in this army just yet, but I think it is just moving in right now. There it is. And remember, Light has only used one Irradiate, so if he can pick this off, it's going to be really, really hard for Action to make any attack be successful.
Okay, that's a nice Irradiate. Slowly connecting the Darkstorm bridge.
He's not able to get it any closer to the natural, and meanwhile a drop is going into the main, and it is completely open. There's nothing to connect a third Darkstorm, and this is going to be very hard for Action to defend.
And that Marine Force gonna be targeting down the development, and Action knows he cannot defend that drop, so he's just gonna be tapping out.
Yeah,
this is weird.
Yeah, this is weird is an understatement. The whole series has been extremely weird, but both players bringing I don't know, like they're just slugging it out versus each other. Like Light hits you with a 5 Marine attack, it kills 5 drones, and then Action equalizing the attack there with his Mutalings. Like it's very, very back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you know Zerg is doing some type of like an all-in, whenever they're falling into an all-in position, I think instead of putting down the missile turret, the bunker would have been so much of a better decision making to defend that 5 Muta Zergling run by. But I guess Light still somehow managed to defend and keeping out the game.
Well, even without the bunker, I was surprised how low that Marine count was. It was like, if I remember correctly, like something like 6. I'm just wondering how it was so low. I realized he lost 5 Marines with his initial attack, but it felt like the Muta and Ling attack gave Light time to build up a sizable Marine count, but it just wasn't there.
And finally, those are the Zerglings being made, and these 3 Marine are just doing so much of a damage, picking up single drone.
Yeah, it was 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then this control was beautiful from Light. And unfortunately, Action's Lings just were not able to combo together with the drones really at all. Look at this. He kills all the Lings without the drones really getting any shots in. And then he mows down the drones, of course. And all of a sudden, Light's in a fantastic position.
Yeah, that was total 6 drone plus 4 Zerglings, so that's about 400 mineral that Action just lost in that fight. So that was a brilliant micro by Light. And I think we are going to be moving into the commercial break. We'll be coming back soon. Stay tuned, guys.
We are back, guys, and potentially this is going to be the last game of the day. Light is up 2-1. One of the most wild series I've ever seen, but Light so close to making it into the round of 4 for the first time in a long time. Action needs a win here, otherwise he'll be eliminated.
So, Action has shown us such a nice comeback with the macro gameplay style in game number 1, but I'm quite not sure why he keeps doing some weird playstyle and doing all in and not just moving into late game.
Yeah, I agree. Action is obviously very good at all stages of the game. You can see that he's good at the early game too, because he's taking games where he's in a huge deficit and still making a comeback. But like you said, late game is his forte. That's where he shines. That's where you feel helpless versus him. So it is surprising to see him not try and play for the late game. I guess we don't really know what happened or what he was going for on Eclipse, because the Marines obviously threw him off completely. But I really do hope that we get to see a late game play on Metaverse, maybe go into something similar build as we saw on Revolver. I'm not sure exactly how a 3-hatch or an early pool 3-hatch opener plays out there, but hopefully we get a long game here. And with that said, guys, players are ready. Let's get into potentially our last game of the series. It's Metaverse, Light versus Action.
메타버스에서 게임을 시작합니다.
Right, in the top left, he needs your energy, guys, otherwise he might be eliminated from the ASL. It is Action. And in the bottom left, playing more aggressive than I've ever seen, it is Light.
Yeah, this is gonna be the vertical matchup on Metaverse, which is something that Action probably not gonna be happy about, because the rush distance from natural to the natural on Metaverse is really short distance, and I know Light is the type of player likes to go for 3 Marine 21 Academy. He likes to go for cutting lots of SCP production and go for 21 Academy with moving out at 4 minute 40-ish second with the 8 Marine and then a 2 Medic. And I wonder Light is going to be doing that playstyle, and there's a single SCP moving out to the natural. That must be the depot.
Yeah, and this is going to be the semi-wall, because you cannot create a complete wall on Metaverse. But damn, 21 Academy, I've not heard of that build. I really like 23 Academy. You get out on the map around 5 minutes or so. So 440 push, that's extremely fast. What's the goal of the 21 Academy? Is it to deny a third base? Is it to outright kill the opponent? Is it to just force Sunkens?
You are doing the 21 Academy to actually bust opponent's natural, and you can actually force Zerg to make additional Zergling before the Mutalisk, and you're also having that 2 Firebat and 2 more Marines are coming on the way, so you're able to actually bust on time before the Mutalisk actually pops out. And we are seeing double drill moving out. What is this?
I have no idea. I guess he's really worried about potential 8. Oh, he's going to jump something through. But there's... Okay, is it just a hidden hatch? I mean... Oh, it's going to be behind the mineral lines. And this is before pool. Or, well, it was going to be before pool.
Oh, I guess he wants to take that 6 o'clock expansion, but what's the point of that? What's the point of taking that mineral expansion?
Yeah, I don't know, because, you know, there is a low mineral patch on the right side of that position, I think. But that's not where the gas is, so you can't even really long distance the gas. This is literally just a base to have additional minerals, and a lot of the powerful Zerg units are not actually mineral-based units. It's, you know, Muta, Defiler, Lurker. They all require gas, so this is interesting. I'm I'm thinking maybe he hides like a Hydrodin here, and Light scans Spire, and then gets completely blindsided. I have no idea.
I remember one of the game where, who was it? Shine was doing something really similar to this one, and Light actually found all those hidden hatchery, hidden Hydrodin, and everything. And that's something what I remember from Shine versus Light in the past. But Light is definitely looking forward to find those proxy hatchery or somewhere.
Well, he already knows something is weird because the pool was later than usual. There was a drone pulled off. There was still a drone sitting on the natural. So you can see he's looking for it. He's like, okay, something's up. Like, this is just too weird. I know you better than this. So he's looking for it, but he's not going to find anything.
Yeah, I thought we were going to be seeing some 21 Academy, but this is not going to be 21 Academy. Light has gone up for about... Oh, he spotted the hatchery, so he knows there's an expansion.
Well, he did spot it. Just barely pokes into the mineral line and sees it, and now Action's, I would say, clever move is kind of been... Well, we'll see if it's been thwarted, because we don't even really know what the follow-up's going to be. Is it just for the money? I find that hard to believe.
Okay, mining that expansion with a couple of drones, and not sure what he can actually get, but the benefit out of there.
Yeah, I mean, he can't even get any units except for mutas or air-based units, like, through the mineral line, obviously. Maybe he builds a couple lings there and he can take down the power generator and then take a fourth base somewhat quickly. But another thing to keep in mind is if he doesn't want this base to be easily accessible, he needs to not mine that low mineral patch on the right side. However, I think he's already started mining it, so I guess he does intend to use this larva not just for Mutalist.
Yeah, Sunkens are finally going up. And thing about this proxy or the hidden expansion that Action took, that expansion can be denied by putting down the single bunker. And I think that's what Light is actually aiming for. He's sending out on the CV. So he wants to put down the bunker at that expansion, so Action won't be able to mine those minerals.
Yeah, and look how late this Spire is compared to a normal 2-hatch. Like, mutas would be popping out right now, but Spire's not even done. It's like 75% done. And this is a huge army from Light right now. There's no way Lings beat this army unless the Fire Bat is out of position, but he's already built 2 more.
The thing we have to remember is if Light puts down the bunker at the mineral line, that bunker with the range upgrade can actually attack that attack that hatchery, in my opinion. So I don't know what Action wants to do.
Well, this is a massive counterattack. Luckily for Light, he's got a Sim City here, but it's okay. The Firebat does get taken down, though. However, Action's not paying attention to the rest of his Lings, but there's no other units here. He caught Light in a transition. He's going into 5 racks, so he has absolutely no units, and actually, Light is turning around with the majority of his army.
Yeah, that's a lot of barracks, but all those missile trays gonna be starting to fall apart, and now some of the army is gonna be retreating back home. And the bunker did finish at the bottom left expansion, but wonder, yeah, that's gonna be taking down the hatchery because of the range upgrade.
Yeah, but I'm not even sure if that's a full bunker because Light sent a lot of units back to his main. Maybe it is, but as you pointed out, that bunker does range the hatch. Okay, it is a full bunker, and it's stemmed. So Light is angry. He wants this gone ASAP. And now that all of the Lings have been taken down, it's going to be really hard for these mutants to actually kill this bunker.
They're finally surrounding the bunker, but those mutants are going to be taking a lot of pit.
Okay, that was actually easier than I thought, but you got to give credit there because that was good micro. He saved one of his Mutalists twice, the very damaged one. And now Action does have his 3rd base technically up and running again.
Yeah, I don't understand this gameplay. But there's a Hydrodam being going up.
Hydrodam just now started. In the main, there's very little defense, just a single turret. Marines are going to stem in here and try and save the day. Really good control from Action there to knock down a couple of Marines, but he's going to have to back off.
Okay, there's a Hydrodam and the Queen's Nest, so Action is just going to be having some access up, killing the power generator soon. And I don't know. I mean, Light is just making lots of Marine Medic Force with the from 5 racks with the +1 attack. Should be kicking in at a minute 20-second, 30-second. And these M&M Ball gonna be moving out. We'll be buying some time.
Yeah, here comes another attack from Light. He's got +1 weapon. The muta count is decent at like 10 or so, which can obviously be a huge threat to a bio ball. But the bio ball is so big that you can see Light can even branch off some of his army and still continue to deal with the Mutalisk.
Oh no, Mutalisk, gotta be careful. You only have... That's about 10, okay, 10 Mutalisk. Like I said, the vertical matchup is the... Okay, I guess without the bunker you can actually attack the hatchery with the single Marine, so... That's gonna be a little bit annoying here. Gonna be going for the bust here. 2 sunken with the 10 Mira, but will he be able to defend? I don't think so. This is just way too many.
Yeah, it's just so many Marines. Look how many it is, and all of the Mutalisks are going to fall, and unfortunately for Action, his ASL run is done, and it's going to be Light moving on with a 3-1 victory.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Action really wanted to do. That's not... I know he's kind of likes to do the freestyle, but this is just not too right in my opinion, because he's really strong in a late game potential with the 3 gas, 4 gas defiler playstyle, but he just doesn't aim for that play.
Yeah, I hope we get an interview with him, you know, obviously not here, but on his stream, maybe somebody can translate some questions that I'm sure the fans will have, because it was weird play all around today. But let's get into our winner's interview with Light. He had some wild responses to today's games.
Yeah, it's very confident decision making with the +1 5 racks over here after the 2 racks academy. This wasn't the +1 eBay into 5 racks, but still managed to do the +1 5 racks build. And there was a bust. And this bust is just so much for Action to hold off.
Yeah, I mean, it's 5 racks +1 versus a muta count that is not even that high, and you need to really stall the attack, and Action just couldn't do that, unfortunately. So Light easily takes that game. And I'm sure we're going to have an interview in just a moment with our winner.
ASL Season13 김성대 선수와 이재호 선수
ASL Season 13 Round.8, this is match 3. It was Action versus Light. We haven't... Light hasn't gotten to the round of 4 for a long time, and now he's back to round of 4. And how do you feel after winning this best of 5 series? There were lots of moments where you should not be letting your guard down. How do you feel about today's game? And Light is saying the first game was kinda chaotic game for him, because all of the playstyle or play that he did with the decision making didn't work out so well. But he also was panicking in game number 2 because the 4-pull was coming, and he thought he was going to be losing the game because of the rush he did with the SCV Marine. But he kind of had some lucky moment there. And while you're playing in game number 2, we have seen on the player cam, you have some lots of the face expression was really funny for us, and Light is saying he was pretty much complimenting Action, like when he went off with the cheese he thought he's gonna be losing, but he just tried to keep calm, keep his mind calm, and Action just started to throw his game off with those borrows arguing, and somehow Light saved those SCV and Marine back home and managed to win the game number 2. And game number 3, you decided to move out with those first 3 Marine with a single SCV. And that aggression did hurt Action so much, but somehow Action decided to keep the game longer and longer and somehow got the 2 base all-in style with the Defiler. How do you feel? And Light said he didn't expect Action to lose or get hurt so much by the early 3 Marine, and he just kind of felt comfortable after those harassment he did in the early stage. So they're talking about round of 4. The round of 4 player either is gonna be Bisu or JYJ. They haven't played yet. And which matchup do you feel the most comfortable? And he said TVT is feeling more comfortable, but whoever comes up, he just has to be facing it. They're all strong players. So he's just gonna be leaving on luck. And 2 days ago, Light recently got married. A lot of fans were cheering and giving lots of support, and also living out throughout this life, he wants to say thanks to all of the people who were supporting, sharing happiness with him. He's kind of happy that he made it into round of 4 today. And we're excited to know whether you can actually be making it into final stage. And also one more thing that he wants to say, there are lots of practice partners. He wants to say thanks to Saksuri, Action, Hero. He wants to say thanks to JSA, Starcraft Academy, University. The leader of the JSA was also giving him lots of support. So he wanted to say thanks to the members. And thank you for the interview.
Yep, thank you, Scan. We're getting a rundown of the results. You can see Action took game 1 in a sick comeback, but then it was all Light afterwards. Win, win, and win finally on Metaverse, and he's going to be moving on into the round of 4. And as Light already pointed out, his opponent is going to be an SK Telecom member. Is it going to be Bisu or is it going to be JYJ? Doesn't really matter. It's going to be hard regardless. I know a lot of people want to see Bisu in because we haven't seen him in a long time, but I'm actually kind of rooting for JYJ because I don't think he's ever made round of 4 ever.
No, he hasn't. He got knocked out in a round of 8 by Queen 3-0 back then. He was doing the 1 base play style back on Polypoid. That was one of the game kind of memorable against Queen, but didn't work out so well.
And you can see that our second match, or our first match, I mean, which was Rain versus Sulky, has been delayed again to next week. And this is and there's our map pool for match 4: Allegro, Eclipse, Monopoly, Revolver, and Metaverse. So that's gonna be No Butter, and I can't remember exactly the last map that we have in ASL. But what do you think about JYJ or Bisu's chances on this specific map set?
Well, since JYJ has made it into round of 8 with the first player out of the group in round of 16, so he has the map choice in the first map, and on the third map he chose Allegro and Monopoly. So the second and the fourth map is definitely going to be a hard map for JYJ because it's Eclipse and Revolver, where you can get lots of cheese or even Nexus first, and it's gonna be a big homer for JYJ to solve against Bisu.
Yeah. What about Bisu's state? He's been back for a couple months now. Do you think he's someone that can go to the round of 4? And if he makes it there, do you think he can beat Light and potentially make it to the finals?
Well, both of the players kind of like to play aggressively. It's kind of like spear versus spear, like not spear versus what is it, the shield. So whoever just maintains or has a better game scenario in the early stage, maybe that player might gonna have the game lead in the early stage, or I should say the mid stage, or I should say game flow. And JYJ is the type of player who kind of likes to go for 2 base, 2-1 upgrade into a 3 base. JYG never goes for 3rd expansion that fast as like how Light instantly puts down the 3rd command center on location, like 3 factory on location, 3cc or 4cc. That's the only Terran you can ever get to see by Light, and no other Terran players does it.
Yeah, and he also goes for a fast armory, right? So it's like, how do you do this, dude? Like, how do you actually hold this? But he always seems to do it. Looks like, I think we're going to be wrapping up pretty soon. You can see Middle Caster, Caster Park, I guess trying to get the confirmation. Maybe not just yet.
Yeah, today's game, lots of funky game, but I'm kind of curious why Action didn't play standard. He was doing lots of standard game when I was practicing with him, and for some reason, I guess he decided to change his mind and do some type of a 4-pool opening into, I don't know, lots of weird strategy. Maybe he just didn't feel comfortable after losing that 3rd game on Eclipse by 4 Marine aggression, losing so much of a drone and Zergling. Maybe that might trigger them to play something really, really weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to criticize after we see the result, but if you think about game 2, even though it was a 4-pool, like, Light basically threw the game, and then he made a miraculous recover. Like, it easily could have been a 2-0 lead for Action. What I'm mostly curious is the build on Metaverse. Like, Metaverse is similar to Outsider, where it has those mineral patches along the edges of the base, but if Action mined out those minerals, like, all of a sudden, Light could, like, stem to bottom middle and kill, the 3rd base down there. I don't know. It's very weird. I hope we get some questions from his fans on Action streams, and hopefully it can get translated. But that's it for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, we're going to be having Group D tomorrow, and then next week it's going to finally be Rain versus Sulky, hopefully. So hopefully you'll tune in, and hopefully we've got some exciting games coming at you in the near future.